right. So before we introduce our presenter tonight, King Carlos has been with the Karatbars family well over a year and has built an impressive team. He has a background in IT and is also an entrepreneur. He has extensive knowledge in crypto trading and has helped many of our Karatbar family team members understand the complexity of trading and how to benefit from the Karatbit. So tonight you are going to experience a little more of this knowledge being put out. It's going to be recorded. It's actually being recorded right now and it's streaming live on YouTube. There's still time for you to send the link out. We're making it extremely easy for you to share this information all over the world so you can actually get as many persons on this call because 2020 is definitely going to be a very exciting year. So, no. Let's get on with the program. Mr. King Carlos, how are you this evening? I'm going to say good morning. It's probably morning somewhere else in another part of the world, you know?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Indeed, it's pleasant day. Good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And thanks for that great introduction, Larry. You have continued to be an inspiration to myself and those who I also work with. I appreciate you very, very much. And
Well, I'm
I
very
really
happy and
looking forward to for that relationship that we have built over the time that we
with,
have been in this great organization.
without a doubt, King Carlos, when you really look back for the last 6 months, I've had the opportunity to work with you, sir. It's truly amazing. And many of the other persons on the call, I see Mr. Jamal Ali Shah, Marlon is here on the call, Kellyanne Pope, Rajesh, good to have you, Andrea from Jamaica, Anthony, Lola James, and many others. We're really happy to have persons on this call. But yes, you're absolutely correct, King Carlos, that 2020 is going to be a very exciting year. And I'm happy to be partnered with you, sir. And that's why it's important that we really build teams and rebuild relationships. So as we have persons coming on the call, just give me 1 minute of your time, if I would indulge with
Sure.
you, sir, in terms of what brought you to Carrot Bars? When you first got exposed to this information, what is it that really excited you to be part of this whole venture?
Well, I'll be honest. When I, back in 2017, December 2017, I looked up at the sky and I said, enough is enough. I'm tired of living around a circle. And even though I had my own business, even though I was doing stuff, it felt like it was just going around in circles when it came to finances. And I began educating myself and understanding what is taking place. And actually, I shared this already in the open forum. It's by divine intervention. I would say that I came to company, my sponsor, my senior partner, Marlon Modest from Paradise. He introduced me to this business and in January, and on January 4th, 2018, I joined. And I tell you, I've never regretted doing this. It has continually and has and will continue to change my life in terms of even my finances. And I tell you, now I'm an educator in financial matters, and I never would have thought that I would have been here. But it's truly because of the opportunity that Card Bars opened up to me, and I would say with the help of the Lord and divine intervention, and with the help of you guys, that I'm expanding my knowledge. I'm growing daily, and now I've come to the point where now I'm helping others, and that is really the ultimate desire, to really help others achieve freedom in their lives, not just economically, but even now in a wider scope, through education, through dream building, through inspiration. And so that is my real drive now.
Fantastic. And I think you really touched on a very important point, King Carlos, is that, as Carrot Bars back in 2011, actually, when it first started, the gold savings company, and you would have seen Carrot Bars for the last 9 years evolved into a cryptocurrency, blockchain style kind of company. And
Yes.
it goes without saying that as this company has evolved, it means that the information, educating the population is of critical importance. So 2020 is going to be a year where we in the Caribbean in particular will be taking that mantle on in a structural, strategic way so we can really help persons understand, because we understand that the monetary system is already broken, but we're not just complaining about the monetary system. We want to present
Mhm.
a workable solution so that everybody can have a bigger piece of the pie. Don't you think so, King Carlos?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Definitely. I think that this is a move that we are pushing towards. Every person we come in contact with ought to know that there is an opportunity to be free from the control grid that continues to cap us. And I'm not talking just about government, but I'm talking about even that thing we call a job that we've become so accustomed to. Even, those financial systems that have been set up around us just to keep us maintaining poverty and maintaining a certain level of life, never excelling. And so we always look through the window like those little children looking at the amusement park passing by or the ice cream truck passing by, and we are wishing, wow, could I ever get one of those? Could I ever experience a freedom like that, or something great in my life? And I'm really excited that we have that opportunity now to really present, and it is becoming a reality. Even as it become reality in my life, I want to help make it a reality in others' lives. And I think that's the mission, our whole mission as a whole, in Karatbars Trinidad. You know.
Well said, King Carlos. And King Carlos, now is your time for us to help to understand this whole crypto market and what's next for the KBC. So, without further ado, welcome once again to all our participants from Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, and beyond. Jamaica, it's good to have you in the house. If you are from further afield, USA or whatnot, please type it in the box so that we can give you a shout out. So, without further ado, King Carlos, the floor is all yours, sir.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Good night, everyone, and a blessed night to you all from the beautiful Isle of Trinidad. I'm coming from beaming from San Fernando, Trinidad, and it's really a privilege and an honor to have this opportunity to share some basic information. You know what, I will tell you guys, out there, that life has become so busy. And the way life is set up now is like we are just getting up from the morning time, we're off to work, then we have lunch, we come back home. By the time we come back home, it's dinner time. Then we getting ready, do homework if we have kids, get children in order. Then we go to sleep, to get up again, to go another continual cycles that we do every single day, and with the hope of looking for when will be the next vacation, or if we don't work on weekends, then looking forward to the weekends. And so that's how most of our lives have been made up of in this time. We continually driven by just going on, just doing stuff, menial tasks, and then we are not valued at the end of the day. And I want to start out tonight by saying this great interesting quote that Oscar Wilde said, and I just pulled it off the internet, honestly. It says, these days man knows the price of everything but the value of nothing. These days, man knows the price of everything but the value of nothing. And that is so true. Today, we don't value life, we don't value relationships, we don't value each other. And more so, we don't value our time. We don't value our own time, and so we are continually exhausting our time sometimes in things that are not fruitful, things that are not beneficial, things that don't add to our life or to our future or to our generations. And there's no funny thing that even when it comes to money, it's no different. It's no different. We continually are driven by just the tidal wave of what is expected of us, or what is told or taught to us in the education system, that we are to just get a job, and to just work for money, so that money could take care of our lives. And we have come into this time in the world where we are in another movement. We're in this crossover point, in this shift in the world system and in the economic systems. And not only we who are saying this, but even those in the financial markets and quarters are recognizing it. The thing is what are we doing about it, even as we recognize it and see it? And so I start off with this quote, and you're gonna know why in a moment why I start off with this quote, because I'm gonna touch a little bit on price and send me your text your in the chat, which one you think you are, the hipster, the businessman, the enthusiast, the early adopter. Which one are you falling in? And the reason why I'm throwing this out is because we have to understand that the time we are in and dealing with the whole idea of cryptocurrency is understanding value. And what I love about Karatbars International and the launch of the KBC coin, which was launched last year, 2018, January to April, in its ICO phase, is that the price of the coin was a half a cent euro in price. That was the price of it. But what is really the value of the KBC coin? And we're going to touch a little more on that a little later. And you see, based on how you value the KBC coin will determine which category you will fall in that list, that little animation that I just showed. Which one do you fall in? Do you fall in the hipster, the hippie, the enthusiast, the businessman, which category do you fall in? And so um it's important to know where you are at, because if you don't know where you're at, um then you don't know where you're going. And this is why understanding value is so important. I want to talk a little bit about the cryptocurrency market phases. If you're a trader, if you're an avid trader, you would know that there are phases in which the market moves financial commodities, right? Or commodities as a whole. There are something called cycles, and these economic cycles move based on several factors, including trend, including demand, including supply, including the strategies that are implemented, and the intensity or the diversity of the markets. All these things can affect how a particular commodity grow. Now, this is a graph that I usually show in my class, in my crypto class. So some of you who may have been past students may be familiar with it. And I want to show us that when, for example, when a lot of people purchased their packages, the saving packages, and they began to save their KBC coins, they were really excited about growth, about increase, about the coin shooting to the moon, as we always say. And even in the crypto world, they say that about every coin, that is shoot to the moon. But how does it get to the moon? There must be a starting point. There must be a starting point. And if you're a trader, you will know this. And if you're not, this is something that interests you, because persons feel oftentimes that as I purchase a cryptocurrency, or let's take it relevant to our crypto, our KBC coin, that when we purchase it today, that tomorrow it's an instantaneous uh, growth. Now that may happen down the road, but it's very much like a plane on a runway. First, the plane has to be fueled up. It has to be embarked upon. Person luggages have to be brought on, and as it is secured and then ready for takeoff, it has to run down a landing strip of several meters, right? And as it runs down that landing strip, there's a particular point when there's been a certain amount of acceleration and movement, that the plane is now ready to lift off from the ground. And then we know that now altitude takes place, and there is now altitude that moves the plane upward, combined with the forces of the wind. And the reason I'm doing this analogy is because we may have people who may not understand the complexity. So I'm trying to break it down as simple as possible. And so it is important for every person to know that cryptocurrencies are no really different in its behavior or pattern in terms of when it is moving or growing. I heard in a conference recently, someone said that if cryptocurrency is a ship on the ocean of financial technology, then liquidity is the wind that deals with that ship. All right. And if you understand, wind is not immediately visible, but until the moment or until the movement of the market. So if cryptocurrency is a ship on the ocean of fintech, liquidity is the wind. And that is something that also affects the growth and movement of cryptocurrency. So I want to start at where cryptocurrency operates also in cycles. And we start with the first level. There's oftentimes a place of accumulation, or some use the word consolidation. And the idea is that at this stage, when cryptocurrencies are now introduced to the market, that there's a number of sideways movements or neutrality that will exist for a particular period of time. And as this neutrality continues until it gains traction, until there is popularity, until there is recognition, until there is interest, or until there's some sort of activity that creates demand, the coin may move sideways for a while or for a moment. And then after this stage, then we begin to see advancement. Then we begin to see growth. Then we begin to see some measure of movement. And of course, everyone loves the time of advancing. Everyone says, look, this is a time to advance. I must get in, or I'm ready to sell my coins. And so persons oftentimes get very enthusiastic. As I always say, the crypto market or very well trading on the whole can be emotional for persons who cannot handle the emotions. But understand this, that even at the accumulation stage is really a time of opportunity. Some see it as crisis, others see it as opportunity. I want to encourage persons that when you see your commodity, in this case, our KBC coin is at low value, it is opportunity. It is opportunity to increase your gathering of coins, increase your collection base of this crypto. It is a call or a cry summoning you to say, take more of me, get more of me. And so as you get more of the coin, and then therefore now transactions taking place, and movement taking place, this creates demand, and then of course we see growth, upward growth, and there's movement. And as I said before, everyone loves the advanced stage where things are growing well and everybody's happy. Yeah, the coin is growing, and they get so excited, and everyone gets ecstatic over that. But then there will be a time when the market will come into a stage of distribution. It's like a person who has just run a marathon, and after they have run the marathon, they reach a certain point. Let's say they didn't reach the finish line yet. They reach probably a stop point where they get water and so forth. It's important that you catch your breath for the next run, because you don't want to exhaust yourself. So you catch yourself, and that's what distribution is like. It's like that person who's running the marathon getting a period to catch themselves and regain themselves. And it may look like a negative. It may again operate very similar to the accumulation stage. So what is interesting to know is what is distribution at one level may be accumulation at another level. So based on because it's a cycle, so it's continually going up and down, up and down, up, down, sideways, up, down, sideways. And so you have to know which part you are in the scheme of things. Is it at a point? And that's why when you're looking at charts and so forth, you have to look at it from a wider perspective. And we'll talk about those things most likely next year as we get deeper into the crypto training. But it's important for us to understand this. Where are we right now in the KBC coin? Are we at accumulation? Are we at advancing? Are we at distribution? Put in your answer in the chat. There's so much questions I'm throwing out to you tonight. The chat is going to be busy, Larry, tonight. But it's important for you to know where you are in the phase of the market where your KBC coins are concerned. And so again, distribution, while some see it as a negative, while some see it as shucks, I missed the point to sell and sell out my coins and make some small cash, we need to recognize and understand the value of what we have. Because if we understand the value of the coin that we hold, then we will not be so quick to sell it. And so oftentimes at the time of distribution, people are hoping, they're waiting to see growth again. And they say, when is this thing coming up again? When is it coming up? And then you see a decline. And it's like, no, what's happened? Why is this happening? I should have sold my coins. Look, this coin not no good. Best I just get rid of this coin. Anybody want to buy my coins? And that is some of the attitudes. Even I have experienced some of that, where persons are ready to sell their package because I bought it at this price and this is the price it's at, it's lower, but they don't understand. And I want to encourage you to try to understand the value of the coin that you have in your possession. When you understand the value of the coin you have in your possession, you are going to you're not going to be emotional about it. You're not going to become reactive about it. Because after a decline will come what? Another accumulation. So it starts back at number one. There's going to be a period of accumulation. How long is that accumulation? Is based upon a number of factors, which I can't go into tonight. But as it accumulates again, there's a guarantee that, again, it's going to go to the advancing stage. But you know what is beautiful? It will most likely and most times advance much higher than it previously was. So even though there will have been a decline, sometimes the decline is not as steep, but the advance sometimes is much higher. So you have to continue to look at the market from a broader and from a wider perspective than just looking at a 5-minute perspective. Of course, it all depends on what you want to do, and that's a discussion for another time. But I just really wanted to hone in tonight to let people understand how the crypto markets work. And so it's not just our coin, it's Bitcoin, it's Litecoin, it's Ethereum, it's all the coins, all the crypto coins from the as I say, from the least to the greatest. All coins experience market movement and fluctuations. Whether how steep or how volatile is all dependent, as I say, on other factors. And so it's important for me to point this out tonight because persons continue to become reactive. If you are a reactive person, you will be discouraged and you'll say, listen, KBC is no good. KBC is a scam. It failed. But they did not understand value. They didn't understand potential. This business, I would say, if you want to survive in this business, you have to be visionaries. You have to have goals and dreams much more that you desire greater than what you see with your natural eyes at present. And so traders are supposed to be very enthusiastic people who are enthused about the future and is hopeful about the future. And I trust and hope that many of you are on this call tonight, that you are like such. You are hopeful about the future, and you are looking to see where the market will go after the 15th and as we go on to next year. But it's important that you understand these market phases. Last time I was on the call, I spoke about the hard fork, and it's important for me to touch on this because understanding the hard fork and understand the role it plays will now make you appreciate even the phases of the market, even make help you to appreciate the growth or whatever takes place. And of course, this diagram is pretty straightforward. There'll be a merging. The KCB coins will eventually become KBC coins, mainnet KBC coins, and will be determined based upon a value of the KCB at the time and the KBC at the time. But we know the KCB, when it comes off its ICO, we would see the true value of the KCB coin. And then based on the time when the hard fork actually takes place, we would know what the value of the KBC is. And so I just wrote out a simple just demonstration. And as you see there, it has 100 mean net KBC could be exchanged for 1 gram of gold at present. And the proposed date, January 2020, is that the 75 coins will be exchanged for 1 gram of gold, right? Now, I just did a little projection here. This is um, this does not come from the corporate. This does not come from the company. I am in no way a financial expert on everything, but just my own working that I just decided to do to see what's really happening. And when you look at this, then you begin to appreciate the value of the KBC coin as opposed to just the price. Most persons are so focused on the price of the coin that will not see the value of it. And what I love is that the community continue to tell us that the cryptocurrency, the KBC coin and the KCB coins are really tools to utilize to get us into gold. So the object and the objective is gold. Some people's objective may be to get back fiat or to get back more fiat. Now, if you want to do that, then you need to go into an investment company or an investment project. This or build your commission, share the message, do the marketing aspect and build commissions and you get fiat. But the whole idea behind the coins is so that you can increase in value as a person. And I know today a good friend of mine who's in the business, he sent out something similar to me and I had to just sit down and re-examine. I was like, wow, do we really know what we have in our hand? Because here's what. So I just did a mild projection of 1,000 KCBs at 14 cents, right? Is about 140 euros in value or 156 US dollars. After the hard fork with the KBC, based upon it being a value at approximately 2 cents, 1,000 KCBs can become 7,000 KBCs. So 1,000 KCBs will become 7,000 KBCs based on just this projection I'm doing here. Now, if January 2020, there is in fact the exchange, we have to get a confirmation, but if there's that exchange of 75 KBC to 1 gram of gold, if that is possible, net and the movement of the coin from one blockchain to the other, but I don't want to talk too much on it until the corporate says, but that is my own suspicion. But yet is a new development in the coin. So it is important for us to understand what we have. And you see here, I don't know if you see in the chart there, but as you see the chart there, you see the fluctuations right now on the movement of the Karatbit coin and where it's at right now. So if you were to study based on the market phases we studied earlier, we can see that there's been movement up and down, sideways, down, up, sideways, up, down, up. So we must understand the phases of the market because it helps to enable us to make more accurate predictions or analysis as to where the market will go. But I want you all to leave tonight with one thing, if not anything else. Understand the value of the coins that you have. And understand that based on movement of the cryptocurrency market, really and truly, the cryptocurrency market shouldn't affect your viewpoint of the Karat Gold coin, because the Karat Gold coin is separate and apart from all other coins that are in the cryptocurrency market, because it has a direct tie and exchangeability for gold, and nothing in the crypto space has that potential. So I'm going to stop here tonight, and I'm going to pass it back to Larry. And thank you all for bearing with me and being patient. I had some technical difficulties with the devices here tonight, but nevertheless, I trust that you would have gotten what you were supposed to get. And now I hand you back over to Larry.
Thank you,
Good
King
night.
Carlos. You've gone through quite a lot of information, and I just want to recap some of those pieces of information for those of us who may not have had that level of clarity, King Carlos. So, we talked about in the early part of the presentation, King Carlos, about the economic cycles and trends and this whole aspect of the diversity of the markets, right? You also mentioned about growth and value. We do seem to have a misaligned understanding between what's growth and what's value. And you did talk about the four phases of the markets and how we should be understanding where our coins are. And you did ask many of us to really type into the chat box while you're presenting where you think the coin is. So we talked about accumulation, you talked about sideways movements, the popularity, the activity, the opportunity phase, which is in the accumulation part of it. Then you talked about advancing, distribution, and decline. For our viewers tonight, Carlos, where, in your humblest opinion, I know it's preemptive and we really can't make accurate pronouncements totally, but from your experience so far, where do you see the KBC in terms of those phases that you mentioned in the market?
Hello? Not here.
Yes,
Seem to
Carlos,
have some
I
internet
was
issues
asking
today.
a question. I don't know if you would have heard what I just said.
No, I didn't.
R- The question, what we were asking is, you've mentioned many phases of the market, the accumulation phase, the
Yes.
advancing phase, the distribution, and the decline. Where do you see the
Mm-hmm.
KBC is in terms of that relationship that you spoke about? All right, Carlos, are you hearing us?
Well, for one to be able to make depends on the type of time chart. You're looking for immediacy in your opportunity. If you're looking at a day chart or a year chart or a monthly chart, you're going to see a wider perspective and therefore have a better capture of where it is. And so based on that, I would say that we are at an accumulation stage.
Okay, wonderful. You also mentioned the importance of us having a clear understanding of what is the reason we would have purchased a profit package to begin with. Because many persons may not
Yes.
really understand what was the reason. They may have just purchased a package because of intellectual understanding. What advice do you have
Yes.
to give as we're closing off 2019 for persons who have purchased packages and are particularly unsure of what's going to happen in 2020? What is your simplistic advice for everyone listening on this call right now?
My humble advice is to be wise, do not be emotional about anything where your package may, whether it accrue value or greater value or not. Do not be emotional. Have a far-reaching picture of tomorrow and the years ahead, so that you are not moved or shifted by the temporary winds that may blow now and then. And I'm not saying that there will be any temporary winds, but I'm saying that keep your eye focused on the down the road, on the midterm and long term, and not necessarily short term. This aspect of the company is still very young and it's still growing and developing. Yes, it has gained a lot of success in a short time, but this is no success compared to what is coming in down the road. And for that, just be logical, plan, plan your budgeting strategy, plan your portfolio strategy, so that when you start to see the realities unfold as to where the coin price will reach or your value accrued in gold may have in potential, that you have well executed plan mentally and not get emotional about it. The only way we can break the old mindsets is to develop new ones. The only way we can break free from certain cycles that we ourselves perpetuate in our generations and families is by creating new habits that are profitable and would encourage you to grow. So that's my humble advice.
Another question in particular, I'm really asking all of these questions because this is some of the things I would have gathered listening to you and some of the things that's already in my head. And I think, in the interest of time, I'm just asking it for the benefit of our participants. So the case
Hmm.
in point you're seeing here, Carlos, is that really and truly the purpose of us purchasing profit packages and acquiring KBCs and by extension KCBs is for us to understand that there is a medium and a long-term plan as it relates to what Karatbars is looking at in terms of Mr. Harold Site's vision for the future. So
Yes.
if we are acquiring cryptocurrency, it's not just for buying low and selling. I think a lot of people feel that the whole aspect of acquiring wealth is a short-term buy and sell scenario. And then in the long run, they miss out on huge gains because of something that we call FOMO, which affects a lot of people, the fear of missing out,
Missing out. Yes.
right? And,
Hmm.
in terms of all of these emotions as you talk about, in terms of what's going on in the marketplace, uh, briefly, what is your take as it relates to the medium strategy that we should be looking at in terms of 2020? Because why I'm asking you this is that we have a part to play as a community in terms of how the price of the KBCs are in fact going to mature. So would you
Yes.
be saying that in 2020 the importance of us as a community is to continue to educate, to promote, and to help build the amount of persons who are adopting? So what you're saying is 2020, we need to have more adoption moving forward so that we can really strengthen the value of the coin. I'm sort of preempting all of these things, hoping that
Yes.
the answers could be realized. I know it's so much to say in just a short space of time, but I'm actually preempting you for you
Yeah.
to say something.
Well, I'll tell you this, right? And this was the initial thought when you started. Many people who come into crypto sometimes have had a Forex background and a Forex experience. And Forex exists in the fiat world. And fiat is debt. Fiat is now. Fiat is immediate. Needs immediate. What Karatbars' plan is to move us from fiat into gold. So our mindset and the education we need to put within ourselves, it is individual responsibility, not just our responsibility as leaders in Karatbars or otherwise, but it is every person's responsibility to educate themselves on the mindset that is needed to handle gold and handle wealth that would shift us from the mindset of the now, which fiat exists in. And so there are a lot of people who will be coming to the crypto markets with the Forex mindset or the Forex minded attitude, which is to get money now, to live now, to pay debts now, and to survive now. So that what end up happening is that the money runs out and they're back to square one. I'm saying it's time for a shift. That shift starts in our educating ourselves. And I don't know if I'm answering your question here really, but I think it's about educating ourselves to shift our mindsets to a place where you don't function the same old way that we may have functioned or feel we need to function in order to make it in this leg of life.
All right, just about 2 minutes before the closing of the hour, whether you're in Jamaica or in the Caribbean, the Eastern Caribbean. We are heading to the top of the hour. So just one more question before we close up, and then I'm going to ask you for your final closing comments. Is I think one of the distinctions between regular cryptocurrencies and opposed to what Karatbars is representing is that the coins themselves, meaning the KBCs, are in fact
Mhm.
going to have a gold value attached to it at the end of the day.
That's right.
So
That's right.
moving forward in 2020, many persons who would have bought packages would have would have said, well, you know what? I've bought packages and I good to go. I don't really need to do anything else. But I believe moving forward that we should never forget what is the original vision of what Harold Sites originally started Karatbars with, and that was to continue to save in small or whatever you can afford increments of gold. So,
Yep.
what is your advice for the participants here as it relates to the cryptocurrency? You talked about the conversion value of the gold. And with this case in point, would it mean that we really should be purchasing gold on a regular basis?
Absolutely. And you should make it a habit to at least purchase a gram of gold every month, purchase gram of gold every week if you can, purchase 5 grams of gold every month. It's a habit to develop, and it starts with small steps. So as we do small steps, we develop the habit more and more. It becomes second nature to us. And therefore our mindset must operate in the realm of gold and not fiat currency. And again, that's really starts with the training. And even before the cryptocurrency, I encourage persons to trade, but here's what I tell people to do: trade, do exchanges, increase value either in Bitcoin or USDT or Ethereum, but get it back to KBCs, because that's where the real value is. Because USDT and Bitcoin and Ethereum may seem to have value right now, but really and truly it's only operating by price, because there's nothing of real value back in it. So even if you're doing trading, even if you're doing whatever in the forex markets or whatever you want to do, ensure to get your money back in the into the coffers of the Karatbit system, where you can exchange it for something of real value, which is gold.
Excellent case in point. So I think the modus operandi moving forward, and this is what Harold Side's vision is to use blockchain-based systems using cryptocurrency to mitigate the value that we're losing on the fiat side and using gold as an ultimate store of value, but digitizing it at the same time.
That's
I
right.
think it's truly unique. So your final closing comments, King Carlos, as we already approached the top of the hour. Great
Wow.
presentation. Time goes by when you're really having fun. So for our participants, in terms of 2020 and beyond, but we're looking at 2020, what is your personal take as relates to what you would like to see occurring in the community as your final closing comments in just about under 2 minutes?
We have approximately 48 to 58 hours left to get as much packages as you can. Accumulate, accumulate, accumulate. You you start the market with your accumulation of as much as you can in your coins, in your packages, in your gold, and see that benefit you when the uptrend takes place in the greater scheme of things within the next 3 to 5 years. As we go into 2020, let's enter in with a shifted mindset. Let our attitudes be shifted. Let our emotions be shifted. Let our goals and dreams be shifted to a greater one than we thought we had. Because most of us say, well, we make money to fix house or to get a vacation. Shift that into something greater in 2020. And then create the expectation within yourself to see it come to pass within from 2020 onwards. I bless you all and I thank you all for this awesome opportunity. Thank you for having me on the call, and thank you for your patience with our little challenges. God bless.
Well, thank you so much, King Carlos, for your presentation this evening. We have quite a lot to think about. Food for thought. This call is actually being recorded and will be sent out in the chat room possibly by tomorrow for the latest. So, as we close off tonight's presentation, we talk a lot about a shifted mindset, according to King Carlos, for the year 2020. We need to change the way in which we view wealth and what we think money really is, because isn't that the purpose of us purchasing cryptocurrency? Because we need to understand what is currency and what is money. We need to develop, ladies and gentlemen, listening to this Zoom cast tonight is a greater sense of emotional intelligence. We must not be moved by what politicians say, what governments say, or what we think the media says. And this is not to disrespect any of them at all, without a doubt, because this call is recorded and I want to guard my words carefully before anybody misquote me. But at the end of the day, we must develop a sense of emotional intelligence based on research, based on knowledge, based on real education, so that we could make quantifiable decisions. Because at the end of the day, what we're talking about is making choices that truly impact our wealth portfolio. And being part of this Karatbars family gives us the opportunity to be able to do just that, guys. So at the end of the day, I want to thank everyone for being on the call. I want to thank Kellyanne. She's actually from New Mexico, from the USA. It's good to have you on the call. We have Jamaica in the house. We may have Barbados in the house and Trinidad and Tobago in the house. And if I missed any of the countries, please let me know right now so that I can give you a special shout out. We will be continuing. This is the last for this week. We will be continuing next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have a very good lineup moving next week as we continue to impact your shifted mindset, work on your emotional intelligence, and help you to make the choices to create the wealth that you need. And for help you and to help you to understand, guys, what Carrot Bars is all about, what this opportunity really means, and what is the responsibility that we all must collectively put together so that we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. All right, guys. So thank you so much for being on this call. And we definitely will convene next Tuesday. All right. So have yourself an early weekend. Tomorrow is Friday. So many things happening over the weekend. Well, Sunday is definitely going to be the cut off for the getting packages. So if you're still considering getting more profit packages, either yourself or by extension, your people, now is the time. You have limited time to make sure and get it done. All right. So Kellyanne says, thank you. I always talked about emotional intelligence, and I know we can. Great job. Thank you, family. Yes, thank you so much, Kellyanne, for being on this call.